your Facebook name so that I don't miss your live videos. I unfortunately I don't do live broadcasts on Facebook. I only do this on YouTube. Good morning, Bill Gadgets. Good morning, Champion Morgan. Good morning, Central Forex. Good morning, Martha Academy. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm also not bad. I'm healthy, alive and kicking, and apparently it looks like today we will be a little early, 7:18, and we are in Waise, and the jam doesn't seem to be too much, so we might be, if we are too late, we might be about 5 minutes late. So if you're watching this video later on in the week or in the month, today is the 14th of March. Very dark and cold and wet day. Good morning, Passo. I hope you're doing well. So it's a wet and dark day, but regardless, we move. It rained the entire night. From where I live, it rained the entire night, and still drizzling. And the way it's dark, it doesn't show like we are going to get any sun. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. So yesterday I started a comparison that I could not finish because of the network, but I'm hopefully going to finish it today. Yesterday I was just comparing two cars. I was comparing the Vitz and the Passo. So because I didn't complete it yesterday, I thought let me just add two more hatchbacks. So we have added the Mazda Demio and the Nissan March, because those cars literally look the same. I would add the IST, but the IST, although is almost the same as a Vitz, is in its own category. It's too overpriced, and I don't want to compare it with cars that are, good morning, Adam. I don't want to compare it with cars that the common man can be able to buy. Yeah, nedo achiteba tutani tugenda. Abamu kufe tukoyo okutuukanga late. Yeah, so mama salamangu. I hope you guys are doing well. Vitz, Passo, Demio, March. The March is a Nissan, the Demio is a Mazda, and then these two, of course, the first ones are both Toyotas. In front of us is the Toyota Primo first generation. What's that? It sounds nice. Yeah. So that's the first generation Primo. I also find that car is overpriced, because there are chances that you're going to find that person having that UAK telling you that he wants to give it to you at 7 million, which I find outrageous. Because you as an individual, you will not get anyone to give you that amount. You get, good morning, Emma wa Toyota succeed. Emma wa Toyota succeed. Good morning, Tumbu Abiri. Good morning, Charles. I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah. So I find that there are prices that if you're not the kind of person that looks at the real value of something versus your perceived value, because the perceived value of the Primo, for example, is that, okay, the Primo is worth all the money because, well, it's a durable car and all. Yeah, but the real value of that Primo is actually not 7 million. Good morning, JK. So, but anyway, let's go back to our topic today. And surprising, on days when it's raining, you'd expect that the network will be poor today, but the network is very stable. Yeah. But ngera bwe mulengera, it's a very dark day, very cold, very wet. But regardless, we move. Ate kirolete kifiiridde mu kkubo. Alimo kukipika mafuta. Good morning, Charles. Anyway, Toyota Vitz was a very popular car. I drove a Vitz for myself for 2 years. Good morning, Alan. I drove a Vitz for 2 years, and it's one car that I don't really regret driving. Of course, every time you drive Gear River Yafa, it's the first car that I saw at a Gear River. okitegere motoka bweba namwate nayo ebaako nebyefa ebiri special ebitategerekeka. Like you remember this one, I replaced the indicator thingy. Okitegere, like when have you ever seen an indicator knob dying? Well, with my car it did. In my car it did, and because it was not very expensive. Uganda, you know, the Toyota Vitz is a very reliable car. It has 3 variations. It has a 1.0cc, about a 900 something cc, and then it has a 1.3cc and a 1.5cc. Now the last 2 I recommend that you buy. The first one you should buy only because the budget doesn't allow you to buy the last 3. Good morning, Mansour Hanifa. Talk briefly about Toyota Urban Cruiser. Urban Cruiser, I have very little to say about it because it's still a new car. You will find that they have probably sold about 50 pieces in Uganda if they have sold a lot to get. The same thing with the Toyota Starlet. I've seen 2 copies. So you'll find that they have not sold a lot of pieces in Uganda. So there is very little information for us to actually work with to give a review. But I'm in contact with someone from Toyota. I'm hoping that very soon I'll be able to go and get actual reviews of those cars, all the new cars that they have that they are selling to the general public. Yeah, so that's my hope. But until then, I can't really give you information that I don't have. Yeah. Anyway, regardless, Primo F versus Primo X. Primo F, Primo X. Those are literally the same thing. Abantu ba Toyota jeki chibakola. Bakyusamu ka interior katono ne bakyusamu ko ku mitto okitegeera ne bateekawo famaika ne batagiwa famaika. That's literally what they do. They ne bakyusamu ko ku design y'ettaala okitegeera, like the Primo new model mulimu variations biri. There's one that has of course before the 2008, 2009, there's one that has a C light in the rear, then there is one that doesn't have a C light. But everything else it imposes ne zigzag gear lever. Almost everything else is the same. Then all way enough mic, all way enough mic. Literally that's what Toyota does. For example, with Vitz, you find an RS, the Rio RS. It has the clock is not digital, but the normal 1000cc Vitz, the clock is digital. Then the RS has seats that are sort of sporty, black. The normal Vitz has seats zitanyuma, ordinary, you get. So you'll find that those are normally the differences when you find a variation of, let's say they have a Primo F, then they have a Primo X, and they have a Primo whatever, you get. Normally that's the difference. So, but the Vitz, whether you find it in a 1.0cc, 1.3cc, or 1.5cc, those cars they share spare 1C. Suspension, shock absorbers, brakes, and all, they share everything. Okay, the difference is normally in the engine and the gearbox. The 1.3cc is much more reliable, especially for us young people. Like me, I would not dare okuja ko nganjugulide mukyala wange 1.0cc. Like me to be driving the 1.0cc every day. So I wouldn't buy it for me. However, I would buy it for the wife. Because for her she will be much more careful. 1.3 signs of tagamarayo, you get. And also for a second car, a 1.0cc car would be a very good addition to your collection. For when you're broke, for when you're modest, you're moving alone and all that, you just drive your car and you enjoy yourself, because people are surviving in 1.0cc Passos. So the Vitz compared to the Passo, definitely the Vitz wins every day. However, the Passo is cheaper than the Vitz, even in the bond. For example, a 2009 Vitz asking price is 25, a 2009 Passo asking price is 23. You get the difference. And even when you come to the market of the used cars, a used Vitz is much more expensive than a used Passo. That can't be accidental. So one of the cars is definitely much more reliable. One of the cars gives you more space. One of the cars gives you more comfort, and that's the Vitz. That's why I tell you that if you can afford to buy a Vitz, in whichever year, 2001, 2002, 2008, whatever. Buy the Vitz and not the Passo. I know the Passo guys have they created some variations of the Passo, Bakakuranga, Kali Sporty and all, but the Passo gives you less space than the Vitz. The Vitz gives you more space to carry your luggage. It gives you more space to for you to load your people. It takes bigger tires, definitely, meaning that it gives you higher ground clearance. You'll be much more comfortable when you have more space in the cabin. You get, and definitely when you're driving the two cars. Speaking about prestige, a person that is driving, don't buy a steamers. That guy suffers with the car to the extent that the bonnet moves when it's open. Achimanye sawa your name utawanya. So bonnet tacha wanana jigala. So don't, when I tell you guys don't buy this particular car, it's not that you see, by the way guys, you see the clouds, eh? It's like we are in those films where people are going to die. Like you know the horror movies. You remember the horror movies when they're driving this camper van. You remember that movie Obani, Will Smith, when Will Smith was surviving with his dog and he's driving this camper van. You remember the clouds looked like this and he was on a highway like this. You guys have watched those movies where people are surviving. So now I would be the survivor and I would be acting in this movie where I'm the only survivor and I'm driving and I have oxygen in the car. You get, and I have guns to shoot the zombies. Book of Eli, yes. So the clouds and the environment look like this. The Tubanga, we are in the end of times and Arthur is the only surviving person. Yeah? And I'm protecting my family from zombies and unclean air. So you guys, Passo and Vitz, yeah, Jackie, let me research those things. The one thing I've realized about those Primos, they all have the same engine. The performance is literally the same. The performance is literally the same. If they have the 2ZZ engine, JK, they all have the 2ZZ engine. If they have the 1NZ engine, like mine, you'll find that they have the 1Z engine. You get, literally, there is never a difference in the performance. The difference in performance in those Primos would be that the engine is bigger, which is the 2ZZ, 2ZS? Yeah, that would be the difference. Yeah, but I'm going to do that for you. The Primo F is the 1.5, the Primo X is 1.8 liter, the Primo G is the 2. Yeah, but there are not too many 2 liter Primos JK in the market. Majority of them are 1.8, and then there are a few that are 1.5. I think the performance lies in the size of the engine. You get. Yeah, I was supposed to put the light on before I change this, so that I don't look like I'm in the book of Eli. Yeah, but you know, when I put the light, then I also look like I'm in the book of Eli. Yeah, anyway, you guys, so Passo, Vitz is definitely preferable. I would recommend that you buy a Vitz if you can afford one. Passo is definitely cheaper in the market. Now, when you talk about these two, because these two are Toyotas, and you're going to be talking about the Mazda Demio, because people like the Mazda Demio, and Mazda Demio has some very good variations that look really nice with a very good design. You get. And the Mazda Demio is also very good on the fuel. However, the Mazda Demio compared to the Passo and the Vitz, the Mazda Demio is very hard to maintain, very expensive to maintain because it's a Mazda. You get the spares are with limited importers. Sibuli muntu nti aleta spare wa Mazda. Yenga atojja kusanga nga almost every importer has spare for Vitz, has spare for Passo. Bogende wachiseka nogenda nti minonya steering rack ya Vitz, you'll find it almost in like 10 shops. Negendo gambe, I'm looking for a steering rack for Mazda Demio, and they'll start telling you genda ko mundebe wagundi bwabata jino veyo gende ke chireka what way yakasara contain and all that. So you don't want to buy cars that will give you stories that where you'll be saying ene modoka yange mujira beri rare ngojogerera bwogerezi. You get, I saw a meme yesterday of you know, the Americans joke about their Ford. I took it out. I forgot it. So don't know how I forgot it. I was using it. So the Americans, they joke a lot. Passo. It's an IST. So the Americans joke about their Ford. Ford is made in their country, so they know that the Ford is very unreliable. They joke about it too much. That they joke that someone buys a Ford and it breaks down too many times, that it gets to the extent that the next time it breaks down, they almost shove the money into the mechanic's face, fix it before my friends know that it has broken down. I don't wish that you buy a car that will break down so many times that you're going to tell your mechanic, fix it before my family knows the car has broken down again, or fix it before my wife knows that it has broken down again, or fix it. I don't want Arthur to ever find out that it breaks down this often. So something like that will happen to you if you buy a Mazda. Now, I know Mazdas are very affordable. If you want to buy a Toyota Wish, let's say a Spacio, and then there's this Mazda that looks like a Spacio. That Mazda that looks like a Spacio will be cheaper to buy, but it will be very, very expensive for you to maintain. Okay. Now, if you look at a Vitz or Passo, expensive to buy, very easy to maintain. The Demio, very cheap to buy, expensive to maintain. All the money that you save in fuel, you're going to spend in buying spare parts and all you get, and you don't want to get there. For example, if I buy my headlamp for let's say 250 a pair or 300 a pair, now just imagine how much you're going to buy the headlamps of a Mazda Demio that is not very common. You get. So that's one thing you need to understand, that all these cars that are cheap to buy, anything that is cheap, it's not accidental that something is cheap in the market. It looks really nice. You get. Vitz or Spacio, I'm a beginner, I'd love to buy a manageable car. Any advice? Now venture, it depends on what you want to use the car for. It depends on how many people you travel with. The Spacio is a 7-seater. You can get a 1.5cc Spacio. I don't recommend you get a 1.8cc Spacio. I recommend a 1.5cc Spacio. Now you need to understand that majority of the cars in the market that are manageable are 1.5cc. This includes the Spacio, Raum, Alex, IST, Primo. So many cars are 1.5cc that are very manageable fuel wise and maintenance wise. They are 1.5cc. So that's one thing you need to understand. So if you want to buy a car that is manageable and you're comparing Spacio or let's say Vitz, I would highly recommend that you consider what you're going to be using the car for. If you're going to be most of the time traveling alone, then this is where you consider buying a Vitz, because a Vitz is very comfortable for you if you're still single. However, if you have a family and you're going to be taking kids to school like me, then that's when you consider the Spacio, because it has kids seats in the back. So your kids will actually be safe. And then sometimes you'll travel with family that is more than your wife and kids. Then the Spacio will definitely work better. It's a 1.5. You can get a 1.3cc Vitz. You can't get a 1.3cc Spacio. So, and then you can get a 1.0cc Vitz. You can't get a 1.0cc Spacio. All those cars are very, very, very easy to maintain. So then you have to live in a new model CC. I've not seen the Levin new model, by the way. Although I know there is a Levin that has an engine that is the same as the engine in my car, the 1NZ. So that one just buy. It's raining cats and dogs. Sorry about that. That's why we buy cars. You get. It was Denzel Washington. No. It was thingy. It was Will Smith. I know Denzel, but it's the same environment. Yeah. But the engines are of different displacement. Yes, JK. Sorry, I'm reading this differently. Demio is 1.3cc. Yeah, Demio might be a 1.3cc, but still not worth the buy, not worth your money. I'm telling you. You will. It's one of those cars that you will regret buying. So I would highly not recommend that you buy a Demio over 1.3 or over 1.5, which take it, right? Alan, yes, bigger displacement in these bigger displacement cars last longer because the engines are definitely bigger, and you cannot basically, even if you flow it, it's very hard for you to blow the engine. A 1.0cc engine, why I wouldn't drive it, I would blow the engine within like 6 months. But I drove a 1.3cc Vitz, and I drove it. I used to flow it nziruka. That time nali nchari muto nsobola okudduka emmotoka yange nga bw'okiwulira, and I never blew the engine. A 1.0cc, yeah, that would have been a different story. A 2.0cc, that's why normally I recommend that if you want to look for a car that will not disturb you, Mark II is the car. It's a VVTi 2.0cc. You can't blow the engine. At a Mark II, I drove it for a year. Mark II teina chefa jakongo limononyi nti suspension yefude ntichi. Let it be Mark II musota, Mark II in a grand. Make sure you have a Beams 2000 engine. Inspect the gearbox. Make sure the gearbox is perfect. Actually, even the Alteza, what do Alteza in a Beams 2000 engine? Buy it as well. Make sure the gearbox is okay. But these cars, Mark II, Alteza, zimanyo kolachi, zimanyo kugwebigo. So wogura Mark II Grand, Alteza, make sure tell him accident history. Yechigo zefu labana baziduka kubaziduka. Ochitegera. Big, okay. I have a friend who has a Ford Focus for a few years, but he has no issues with it at all. JK, one thing you forget is JK mikwano jo jakolamu. Mikwano jo ejisinga jo yogira kwe baina akasente. Kati JK waliwo omuntu okugamba nti me, I've driven this car and I've never actually found a problem. Nayenga yokugamba ntaina problem, it's because he can actually afford it. Nti waba spare nga bwafa amwetumiza namuleta from Dubai or wherever, or UK or the US. But normally the problems that people get with Fords is that they cannot afford to buy the right spare for the car, or even if they can afford, they cannot afford to access the good mechanic for that Ford. So you'll find that this friend of yours can actually access the right mechanic. To a garage and they tell him to pay consultation of let's say 150,000. He doesn't feel bad. But with our Ugandans who are used to go to a garage where they don't even pay consultation fee, Ford ingevegenda moment, yeah. You get what I'm saying? So normally that's the issue because Fords, for you to maintain a Ford, you need to go to these big garages where they can afford to access specialized care for your car. Like, okay, we need a specialized Ford mechanic. And the consultation you have paid can actually get you that mechanic. You can afford to pay for diagnostics machines in that. So, JK mikwano je jimu jakolamu. Actually, mikwano jo jonna jiba jakolamu. But majority of my followers here, they atakati walaba ab America benyini where Ford is made, they are talking ill of Ford. Now just imagine a Ugandan had, not has. Then you'd have to actually find out why they sold the Ford. I had this American joke: Ford is full from behind is equals driver returns on foot. Yeah, I mean the Americans themselves joke about their cars. I have no big difference. I find no big difference between the 1.5 and the 1. JK, there is a big difference. If you want to know that there is a difference, live 35 kilometers from where I live. People that were driving 1.8 liter cars, they gave up on them. I'm telling you this. People that have survived where I live, in the estate where I live, are all driving 1.5cc cars. The 300cc, let me tell you how the difference comes about between a 1.5cc and a 1.8cc liter car. Now, a Bajaj Boxer, I'm telling you motorcycles because our motorcycles are ujakumanya. The reason why people choose Bajaj Boxer over a TVS, I think, was because the Bajaj is chukumi abiri mutano, and I think over the TVS over was chukumi nkaga. You get, it's something like that. But the difference in CC is not that big. But for them, they will tell you embanji vuga wano mafuta anjiwulira anti ekolachi nti enywa 300 kati. Of course JK gwe engineer kati gwe mu engineering gwinzo wanga teri yo nyenye difference na that 300cc, the difference is big, and it's probably the difference why someone will choose to drive a 1.0cc Vitz and not drive a 1.3cc Vitz. I don't know if I'm trying to make sense. The difference is negligible if you have money. But if you're in a budget like me, now you live on a budget, the difference is not negligible. 300cc. 300cc is, yeah, strong boy. Are you strong? Yeah, I'm proud of you. So, which of these cars do you recommend, both used versus new, of these small cars? Now, we were talking about the Nissan March. I have a Moko of mine. He marries my wife's sister. Ye muntu was in Nissan is okay. Mutawanya era na ye. Zimutawanya. Yeah, you know kuzikanika kati mechanic. If you want to learn how to be a mechanic, buy a Nissan, buy a Mazda, buy a Volkswagen. Which take it. Good morning, Bill Gadgets. Now, for him, he even learned how to fix. He's actually now a mechanic of Nissan. He's a marketer by profession. So, the Nissan March is very cheap to buy. You can find the UBB at 4 million. Which take it. It's moving. You can find a UBD Nissan March at 5 to 6 million. I think ajikuwa gladly, happily, akasenta akakwata, is very glad, akwebaza wewe kumpa kusente, because Nissan March, after you drive it for 2 months, you'll try to find someone to give you the 5 million you bought it ngatomolaba. Maintenance for Nissans is very expensive. Very expensive. Now, whenever you find someone that is driving a Nissan telling you how Nissan is not problematic, how you should buy it, how you should not be discouraged, they are trying to find someone to suffer with them. They don't want to be alone in the suffering club. You get what I'm saying? Today you on time?
Yes.
Very on time or by a little late? People struggle with their cars, and normally when they are struggling, they want to get people to struggle with them. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. In the past, you know, I've been an advocate of you people. I've been telling you, don't have many kids, have 2 or probably 3 kids that you can manage. Don't have 5 kids. So time to time I've been encountering people that have many kids, 6, 7 kids, and they're always telling you akazara bana bichi, and they don't give you a logical reason for you to have kids. But then the same people never sang next time abana bamenya banango manyiti nsasuro bukadde busatu mu school fees okitegeera. And then they tell you, nze emotoka njivuga lw'abaana nkyaweerera abaana naali badde naguladde emotoka ennungi okitegeera. So the kids become a hindrance for them to achieve goals. I've told you a story of one of my relatives. Twali mu ddwaliro ng'alina omulwadde, abaana be ne bajja n'emikwano gyabwe, mikwano gy'abaana be ne bamubuuza, naye kati gwe muzeeyi weeyagalako ddi? Muzeeyi n'abagamba nze siyinza kweyagala, nali mpeerera bano. You get it? So then the kids become actually a burden. But when they tell you to have kids, they don't want to suffer alone. They want you to have many kids so that you also go through the same suffering. So the Nissan drivers, people that are telling you, hey, Mr. Tony, good morning. Mbadde nsaba enkyangera yakola ne eno. Mbadde nsaba kusando masteringireko. Mama yinza enkya ngampadde between sawa 3 n'omukaaga. Kale. So what I'm saying is, don't go because a friend of yours has told you. For me, my brother-in-law, my brother-in-law has been telling me, you buy Nissan, kategojo gulida emotoka UAM ku million musanvu, nze ngula UBB. You get, they have all these things they will tell you. It's very enticing. But me, I would rather drive a UAM ngempe mirembe than drive a UBB ngatempa mirembe. I drive a UAM that I can drive every day without trouble, instead of driving a UBB nga njivuga ku Monday nene ngamba kukusatu tentawa nyenkube etonye techife or something like that. So Nissan March, I've just talked about it to make sure I tell you don't buy it. Now there are people that have Nissans that are not suffering, definitely, yes. There are people that have Mazda Demios that are not suffering, but I also know someone that has a Mazda by which Mazda chinene chiringa almost chiringa Passo. What are you saying? Who gave you? Did you tell her thank you? Nana, don't cry. Aban is helping you open. So don't get lured into buying cars simply because some of your relatives are driving them. Some of your relatives are suffering silently. Eri mazda bajiita bakyajja wangamba. I see Demio. Yes. She has forgotten. So your family member might be struggling with cars. Nze nkugambye abantu babonaabona n'ebintu byabwe naye nga tajja kugamba nti nkola ki. I think the one person that has been very honest about his sufferings with cars is me. Nze nzijana embaga mpozi ne cancel Yunus. Okitegeera. The rest of you have there are people that have struggled with cars, and I told them, can I come and I interview you and you share your experience, and they have all refused because they don't want to share their sad stories. Baga na obonebono kiite mukatinze sagala mubonebone Nisani muzireke Mazda muzireke. Let's stick to Toyotas. Now, the person that has been asking me which cars I recommend, I definitely recommend a Vitz. But if you're going to buy a Vitz, I also recommend you buy a 1.3cc over a 1.5cc. Now, the difference in the fuel consumption is seen in but the difference in longevity, durability, the difference in durability, your joke. American cars, okay. In terms of looks and class, what's the best among those cars? Look and class. Sorry, someone was calling my phone, and I'm today back to Airtel. So if you're going to be buying class, how it looks, the Vitz will definitely beat all of them. Of course, Demio has some. Sorry again. Sorry. Okay, I think we need to teach ourselves this, and I'm teaching myself this. If I call someone once and they make me busy, I don't call them for at least 30 minutes because someone makes you busy because they are doing something. Class Demio sometimes looks very nice, but the Vitz will still beat them. The Passo, no. The Passo is a survivor's car. You buy a Passo. Yeah. American cars are not that good. They prefer Japanese cars, Toyota, Honda, Subaru, definitely. Are you sure? How about Nissan Patrol? Is it reliable? What Mansoor? Nissan is very good with SUVs. It's very good with pickups, but still it's not better than Toyota or Mitsubishi. But Nissan is better. Nissan cars are better when driven in SUVs or pickups. You get. People want to die, don't want to die. Omuntu akuita na kuleta mu kizibu nga nawe olaba. Okitegeera. Someone can be suffering with their chika, and when you ask them, "Taina buzibu." Okitegeera. Bajaj guys play around with the carburetor to increase mileage. I don't know if they figured it out on TVS. A friend of mine has 7 kids, but the guy's running expenses are high. He finished professional level of SCCA and got auditing job with several UN organizations. But Zimunya. Yeah. After I heard that a model can azoba zisiba amafuta. Please talk about 1.8 can. What? Central Forex. Let me tell you one thing. Have you seen those Bajaj motorcycles in Garinya Kasos in Inga agenda tagenda? Kademoro kajibas pichibaba jisaza amafuta. The same thing happens. Wosara amafuta gemoro kanama nyoboko lachi. Atobo yuna engine. These engines, I don't know, JK, correct me if I'm wrong. These engines are meant to receive a certain amount of fuel. That's why they give them that kind of displacement. That's why they tell you this is a 1.5cc engine. That there is a certain amount of fuel that car is supposed to be getting every time the engine is running. Now, if you reduce the amount of fuel that engine gets, so if you reduce the amount of fuel that engine gets, you're definitely risking spoiling the engine itself. Let's say, you see when they tell, sorry about that, someone's still calling me. Let's teach this ourselves. I'm saying this again because I don't want anyone for the love of cars to this again. When you call someone the first time and they make you busy, you call them the second time and they make you busy, you call them the third time, they make you busy, don't call them a fourth time. It looks awkward even. Now the person that is calling me is the person I was giving business last week and he refused to respond. Nemugamba, manyi, when you're doing business, me, I'm a marketing person. Sometimes when you're doing business, it needs to be chap. So I called him multiple times. Nemugamba, manyi, mpereza. The guy refused to kuwereza. I think those are very special. Now, nachivamu, ankubira amasimu ago kumunainga nachivamu even if he calls me. You get, so if you're doing business and you get an opportunity, see it through before you actually kwematira. Tokizanga ko kusala emmoroka amafuta bijja kutama gule emmoroka gy'osobola. There is no reason why you buy a 2.4cc car and then you want it to consume like a 2.0. Kids are expensive, especially if you are the kind that values very good education for your kids. Definitely. Most of the people that actually I've seen that have a lot of kids, tebafayo wajje basomera ye kasita kutwala ku ssomero, then ekirala balina level gye bakomako. I know some very educated man. He's very educated, but he told me, sorry about that, he's still calling. I don't know how to make people believe a busy press is a busy press. 5 times, he's going to call a 6th time. So this person is very respected in community. Na yangamba yabana be kasita kutusa mu senior 6 ebisigadde wetetenkanye. Na yaba ina banji is encouraging me to have a lot of kids. Na yenga naba be, he knows he cannot manage to take them to university. I hope that comment doesn't come from someone from the love of cars. The fact that some uneducated people have survived doesn't mean you should not educate your kids properly. Don't you think ground clearance in Kampala, don't you think ground clearance matters on these small cars? The Kampala drainage is funny. When it rains, especially in the city, I saw some cars stranded in the water yesterday. Isaac, I don't think it's really about ground clearance. I think it's about your driving skills and knowing different roads. Nze kati sichaita mazzi kuba nali nsuzeko ku kkubo. Ate nali mu Primo sali mu Passo. Okitegeera nali mu Primo. And sometimes the car will be stranded not because the water is too high. Sometimes the car will be stranded because of electronics, amazzi gayingidde mu wire, and you know wire zirineyo wansi ku exhaust and all that. So it's not always because the water has, or probably because the car has low ground clearance. Even these big cars can get stranded sometimes. You've seen when it rained and the Land Cruiser was taken by water to a trench. You get it? So it's the ground clearance is an excuse that you'll give to probably buy an expensive car. But ground clearance is not really that important. Just know your roads, know how to drive properly. So engines are designed to run a certain optimum air fuel mixture depending on the displacement. Making an engine run richer than designed causes carbon deposit in the engine. Making an engine run leaner than designed makes the engine run hotter than intended. Exactly. But basically what he's saying is that if a car gets more fuel than it's supposed to get, and this is when the fuel system probably has a problem, if a car gets more fuel than it's supposed to get, it means that the car will get carbon deposits. That means like the plugs will have black stuff. It will have black stuff, and when you give it less fuel, the engine will probably even overheat. That's what I understood, JK. I hope I've understood you properly. Good morning, Starch. Arthur, you could put your phone on do not disturb. No, and the issue is not that someone calls me Isaac. The issue is that when they call me, they disrupt the network, the internet network. That's why I had bought the MTN thingy, but MTN was very unstable, much more unstable than Airtel yesterday. So I had bought the MTN dongle so that I have Wi-Fi, so that even when someone calls me, I don't get disturbed. You get? I'll try MTN again tomorrow. So when they call, they disturb the network. So even when you put on do not disturb, it will disturb the network still. An engine is not supposed to run lean or rich. It's supposed to be balanced. Alan. Yeah, so you guys, temugezako kusala mafuta ga motoka, mugule motoka ze musobola. Mugule motoka ze musobola. If you can afford, nze nsobola 1.5cc. Either we have been having discussions with my wife. Yeah, you're gonna RAV4. Yeah, no problem. The RAV4 is a very good car, but do you know that we cannot afford a RAV4? And then we understood each other surprisingly. So now we are looking at options that are 1.5cc and lower. Because buying a second car is because there are times that I have to work late, and yet she has to take kids from school, go home and do whatever she has to do. So those are the times that we'll need a car, and that means those times we'll be driving 2 cars. So you don't want to drive a 2000cc and a 1.5cc. So you want to either drive a 1.5 and 1.5 equaling to 3000cc, or a 1.0 and a 1.5. You get, or a 1.3 and a 1.5. So that way you'll not be wasting a lot of money in fuel. So I hope I guess ground clearance helps in case of head-to-head accident. Really? No. Let's avoid head-to-head accidents no matter what. Let's try to avoid accidents altogether. You see why I'm giving the car in front of me that much space? Because I know in the rain, the roads are slippery. However good your brakes are, osobola okusiba n'ebigaana. Kati njagalanga bwe siba n'ebigaana, I have that allowance of me stopping before I reach the car in front of me. That's why I give the cars in front of me space. It's because I try to avoid accidents at once. Ngezako okwewala to even scratch another person's car. And the times that I'm really competitive, at times, especially in dry weathers, see competing, I'm wet weathers, because in the things are very unpredictable. My tires are good, my brakes are good, let's try to avoid accidents at once. Not really, Alan. The air fuel ratio is 14:7:1, but not all engines are designed to run at that ratio, depending on the intended use of the car. Jeke batan sokuleta oluzu kati stoichiometric. Nchesomye stoichiometric. Nchesomye baba. Nchesomye kati muna agamba nti sina degree. Nchesomye stoichiometric. Nchesomye Alan. I can be an engineer now. Era na kwentuka mbagamba bigambo bili stoichiometric. Nkaizako. You see, a car is supposed to run stoichiometrically. That means it gets enough fuel, air, and make a jam komokara. Me, I think in Uganda, if one cannot manage 2.0 car, CC car, you're not yet ready to own cars. That's my mentality. No, actually, Central Forex, no. I don't think so. You should buy cars depending on. You should buy a car looking at what you use the car for. I find that it doesn't help you as a person that lives alone to have a 2.0cc car. Not for performance, no. Where are you going to use all the power in Uganda? But you've seen from the time I started driving, after it seems you have a heavy foot like me. If you know, yes, I have a very heavy foot. So I've driven all sorts of powerful cars, but you've seen from the time I started this live broadcast, where have you seen where I've driven more than 70 kilometers? The only place where I drove a very high speed was at the Northern Bypass. And how many times do you drive at the Northern Bypass? So all the other places I've been, I'm driving 10 kilometers per hour, 15 kilometers per hour. So tell me why you need a 2.0cc car here. Besides, that Mark 2 in front of me is a 2.0cc car. Very good car, by the way. But it carries the same number of passengers like me. The only difference that car has from my car is that it has a little bigger leg room and a bigger boot. But bigger leg room for what? Ocha struggling tonaba kusobola kusasula fees z'abaana bo bulungi ng'onoonya leg room. You're looking for leg room for what? A bigger boot to do what? Yesterday I carried the Chaco in my small boot. A bigger boot for what? That car in front of us might be a Mazda. It's 2.0. Now I understand it's a company car. You imagine yourself buying that car because it's 2.0. You get? So I find that if it weren't for the heavy foot I have, I would actually drive that Passo. That's a 1.0cc Passo. I would gladly drive that one. Ochera naye kati akonze nkakubya neno kyewunyiza abasajja babuvuga kati ono musajja yakavuga. I'm backbiting someone right in front of me. Not a very good thing. Yeah. Backbiting and bugambo are not very good. Anyway, I think I would comfortably manage a 1.0cc because I've driven a 1.3cc car and I was fine with it. You get, I was very okay with it. I'm driving a 1.5cc car and I've never been happier. You get, I've even carried like 8 people in this car before and we were okay. So I find that 2.0cc car is unnecessary in Uganda, especially for young people like us. By the way, I'm 33 years, but I'm still a young person. So, whatever never know about you, by young people, about 40. But even me, I'm still a young person. I'm young. So anyway, young people like us, anyway, for young people like us that are still hustling, a 1.5cc is sufficient. However, if you're passionate about a certain type of car, get it 2.0, buy it for passion or many the cost that comes with it in terms of fuel. 500cc extra is quite a lot, by the way. 500cc extra is a lot. Chibanga kugamba anti a 2.0cc 2 liter liter abiri ez'amazzi okitegeera liter abiri ez'amazzi kati nze nywa liter 15 gwe ng'onywa liter abiri liter azeze 5 mpitirivu okitegeera legroom for what? After if you were 6 foot you would consider it. Hey, I'm 5 foot 11 centimeters. Someone hanging ndi muwanvu. I work with a certain guy at work. I'm taller than him. Sijagamba is shorter than me. There's a guy that we work with at work. He's shorter than me. Naye yangamba atatodda mu kwogera nti onsinga obuwanvu. Gamba bugambe nti nze nkusinga obumpi kuba ffenna tuli bampi. Someone hanging nyina futi 5 ne inches 11. Ndi muwanvu by the standards of Ugandans. Wana Uganda abampi banna nyina nanga abantu benda bagenda sasa ngaleka tunabira wati ambula mu kubumpi bwaliko. Nga mumpi nnyo. Nga n'okuvuga emmotoka balina omuteerako pede ziri extra. We are young. Hey, tukyali bato. You still have 2 years left to leave the youth bracket. Hey, let me enjoy the 2 years. 5 foot 11 inches. Hey, 11 inches, not centimeters. Na gwe science anze ndi ata nakola heg D. You on the other hand mwakola science. By 5 foot 11 is tall. Oh! Banang, it has been confirmed. People, I'm told. Yete jeka confirm nze ndi muwanvu. Kadade nyina kyali wangu ekola naye. Victor, sijja mugera nya tufu ye Victor. Mumpi. Yaika futi nganya kitundu. Ate waliwo oli omulala. Nebe nkana bonna bali munya kitundu awo. Nego omuntu owefuti ennyo ekitundu omumanyi. Aba mumpi. Abatasobola kukwata ku baati ya Corolla yange. Anyway, you guys, Vitz, JK, let us enjoy those 2 years. Emyaka ebiri nga nkyali youth. Then I'll mfuka old man or I'll mfuka sugar daddy. Then I'll become a sugar daddy. These 2 years I have to enjoy. But anyway, not just the youth. Mulimu n'abantu abakulu abali mu myaka 4 mu 5 nga mbutuufu tasanye vuga mmotoka esusuka susiri ku mu 5. I've told you of a friend of mine. Bwaba agenda mu kyalo mmotoka agireka mu parking n'alinya taxi. Kati chechi bakyaguze mmotoka. Nze, I swore to myself that bwemba nyina olugendo lwesobola genda ko nga neevuga sijja ddugenda. Okitegeera? Especially when I'm going for boba ebintu byogenda ogendamu. Ate if it's business, it's even the bigger reason for you to drive your car. If you're doing a business that cannot enable you to drive your car, let's say I have a business arrangement in Mbarara and I have to take a bus there. Kati what kind of business is that? You sijikola. Okitegeera. Ate no kulabika nga okwepanka. Naye na Uganda butatandika kwepanka tugenda kusigalira emabega bannange. But now Uganda to go kwepankamu. Okitegera, you go do a business nga tozana gula mafuta from the money they are paying you. What kind of business is that? It's either wepanse ku motoka gy'otasobola oba business oyina ogivaako. Kati nze Corolla yange eno ogiraba. If I'm going to be doing a business, a certain kind of job, and I can't buy fuel to facilitate me doing that kind of job while I drive my car, I don't do that job. One of the reasons why I had 2 boys, 2 kids, was simple. It's because I don't want to start doing businesses that don't make sense. Some people end up doing business that doesn't even make sense. They can't even buy food with it. Why? Because they have so many kids that whatever scrap they can get back in never call. Anyway, I'm still a youth, by the way. It has been confirmed. Youth goes up to 35, and we are going to amend the constitution. We amend the constitution to fit everything we want. We are going to amend the constitution so that a young person is young until 42. I'm going to make sure we amend the constitution. Good morning, Mr. Kafero. Banange. Tubanga wazeyo. Todinaddamu kunkubira. Nakulowoozezaako neggulu. Naye tonnaddamu kunkoonako. Ngenda kunoonyaako nze. We are going to amend the constitution. Anyway, akamotoka kaakano. Akamotoka space yezo oyina woozaawulira okumanya nti this is the 1.5. Normally the 1.8cc is 4-wheel drive ebiseera ebisinga. The 8cc normally they have towing things. When emabega kubampa baona akumaka akatowinga. Ne 1.5cc batekayina. Okitegeera. But the 1.8cc Passo is not worth your money any day. I would not recommend that you buy it. Kubata ina kyamaanyi kyegenda kuwa the 1.5cc kyetasobola kukola ki? Kyetasobola kuwa. N'amafuta ne baba banyogega amatisa ga 1.5 tegatuuka nnyo ga 1. Ka Suzuki mukalabye. Bakaita Suzuki bichi? That one. That's a Suzuki, by the way. Suzuki Siaz. I'm thinking he bought it brand new. Waliwo emotoka ezimu zotalina kugula mu bondi. Kati ng'ogenda ogula Suzuki Siaz. You see this one, it's called Nissan Wing Road. That one don't buy. I've seen a man suffer with it. Buli week agenda mu garage emirundi esatu. Not that it's anything that he has to fix, but wiring issues. Which of the two would you recommend, Passo or Wish? I think JK depends on what you're going to use the car for. The Wish is better for people that are business oriented. Sometimes I'll carry a lot of things. Sometimes I'll carry a lot of my workmates. And that one, then if you're going to be carrying a lot of things, then you have to buy 2.0cc. But if it's not very heavy things that you're going to be carrying, you buy 1.8cc. However, if you're a family person, buy 1.5cc. Oguraka 1.5cc, kabamu 8 seats, but still 1.5. Take as a fuel consumption will still be very friendly for you. Yet you can still take all your family and still carry a lot of luggage in that same car. So it depends on what you're using the car for. But ideally, a normal Ugandan should buy a Passo. The Wish is big for nothing. The Wish is big for nothing. Bobanga togenda kwetikanga bintu n'abantu. Like me now, because I'm a dramatist, sometimes I have to carry my team. So yes, we want a 1.5, 1.8, 1.3, 1.0cc as a second car. But before I buy a company car, the Wish might be a better option for us. So that when we have to drive 2 cars, it definitely has to be that I have a lot of work that I need to do. And then that's the time that I take the Wish and she takes the Corolla. So, but of course it's the Wish that would be hers, but because she doesn't need to drive the Wish and I might need to drive the Wish better, so yeah. Is it just me that finds straight piped small cars kind of nice? Subaru owners give you a certain look. Anyway, Arthur, have you driven a loud car before? I've considered it. Isaac, I've considered it. But you know, a loud car has issues as well. A loud car is good, but one of the reasons that car with that is loud, I'll be in one day by now. because I'll be I'll be in one gear by now. But now because my car is not loud, I don't get the inclination to actually drive very fast. You get? So I would actually, a straight pipe car is very dangerous for a young person. And we have confirmed that I'm still a young person until 2025. Now 2025, but straight pipe cars are very enticing to drive. Sichaita wande gear because the wande gear jam akwata bubinyo. So now I use this Acacia Avenue. Kati abatamanyi chipunga bagamba Acacia Avenue eri ruddawo. Sorry guys. Loud car make more sense for a weekend car. Loud car for me, I like loud cars. What is the tank capacity of it? Because I think it's about 45 liters, 45 to 50. It's the same capacity with mine. 50 liters if you put it on a slope. If you put it on a stone, something that I've had is very dangerous. But I do it because when I do that like that, I drive my car longer without refueling. So 45 to 50 liters a tank of Corsa, the Corsa tank. Loud cars, for me, a loud car doesn't make sense any day. Why? So for the guys that don't know the city, this is what we call Acacia Avenue. It runs from Acacia Mall to Golf Course. Laba no taxi wuli yadu said the one guy is bad. So this way, the good thing with this road is that it has traffic lights. There are no traffic officers disturbing it. So once you start moving, you have moved until. And then even the people that drive this side are a little civilized. So they don't drive in the right lane when they should be in the left lane. They don't overtake when they should not be overtaking and things like that. A loud car, I've considered putting that thing in my car. But then it has two dangers. First of all, I'll definitely be knocking because I already I do speed. Now just imagine me in a straight pipe. People will even fear me. The other danger is if you're driving a loud car, everyone will know when you're coming home and everyone will know when leaving home. That's very dangerous. Even your enemies will know. Even thieves will know when you're leaving the house. Yeah, this is uptown definitely. Even the road, it's like someone was making the road for themselves. The roads this way are better than the roads in Kampala. But you see the weather, you can think we are in Denmark. Okay. You see, Atebo Jekoro, it almost looks like Denmark. And this weather doesn't make it easier. It's like we are in Denmark. Huh? Because I remember the times I've been to Europe, especially Scandinavia. This is how it looked. The weather, you see now even the buildings, you would think we are in Europe. But if I just face the camera here, you'd think we are in New York. Espacio is better than a wish on fuel consumption, definitely better. Espacio is better. First of all, because it's smaller. The Spacio has a smaller body, okay? And then majority of the Spacios in the market are 1.5. Yet the minimum displacement you get with the Wish is 1.8. So let me thank you guys in advance. Champion Morgan, Bill Gadgets, Central Forest Community, Pasco Joseph, Adam Mugisha, Emma what Toyota Succeed. Where did you get this name? What happened? Do you love Toyota Succeed? Oba Toyota Succeed is okay. Tumbo Habiri, Charles Nkugwa, JK, Charles Sebanduka, Komn Alan, Mansour Hanifa, JK, Solomon Chitumba, Nathan, Victor Jason, Samuel Grace, Una Uganda, Derek Venture, Samuel Grace, Isaac Mwesigwa, Ninsima Brick, Pascal Joseph Nabogen. I think I've almost talked about all of you guys now. Starch Nsereko, Gaetano, Mr. Kafero, Bawamata, yeah, Vincent, of course. Spacio run on VVTI 2 years. Renault Duster is not actually a Renault, but just marketed as one. It's a Dacia. The people that are driving the Renault Duster, how is the Renault Duster 1.5? Alan, I think the Renault Duster is very good on fuel, definitely. It should be very good on fuel. It's a modern car. But it's on the maintenance that you'll get the trouble. Watch the maintenance will show you. You drive 2 cars. So that when the Renault dies and they tell you a bush is 500,000, you can go and drive your Spacio again in peace. You get. So you guys, njagala no basibula bannange. Nkubira ono omusajja abadde andi obubi. Njagala basibula nkubira omusajja abadde andi obubi naye saagala basibula. Tomorrow is Market Tuesday, guys. Come and market your products and services. Come and market your businesses. You'll be surprised in the places how much people actually have to pay to get the kind of platform that you can get here to market to people that are actually very open-minded to buy. It's okay in Europe, but very basic car. I don't know about Uganda. Uganda is suffering. It will end in tears. Market Tuesday is this day that you come and market your business, market your products, market your services to people that are or might be interested in buying from you. And you know, I'll definitely be giving some marketing lessons as well every Tuesday. But I highly recommend, especially if you're in Uganda and you have a business in Kampala or in any suburb of Uganda, because people will buy from you regardless of where you are. Yeah, JK is saying many cars are okay in Europe, but a headache back home. Yeah. Mercedes-Benz is definitely okay in Germany. In Uganda, it's a different case. Volkswagen is okay in Germany. In Uganda, it will end in tears. Renault will definitely be okay in America. But in Uganda, you will hate the mechanic. You reach an extent of saying to take maybe a Toyota. Maybe a Renault bigger. Because the Renault almost looks like a RAV4. You can take maybe a RAV4. Who's the right to a good RAV4 in the first place? That's why normally I tell you guys, stick to Toyota. I love Golfs, but on this channel, and by the way, Isaac, even here I love Golfs. I drove a Golf for a couple of months. My wife loved the Golf, but at a certain moment we agreed, let us sell it. Wait, my wife loved the other Golf. Ngabukatula muboti kagumivu kutaka, very comfortable, but at a certain time we sat down like a couple and we agreed, let us sell this Golf. It did not have a future in our lives. It was going to make our lives miserable. Try to just took an effort to each other. okitegeera, and we agreed netugitunda negwe twagiguza n'agiguza abatemi mwe leave golf salon gwe twagiguza yagigula nampa sente zange nenzijjayo, bwazimpa nenzijja nensigala mu banja emiliyoni emu n'ekitundu, sigala mu banja miliyoni emu n'ekitundu. He drove it for about 3 weeks n'agitomeza n'agijjayo n'agigolola, drove it for another 3 weeks nekuba engine n'agiguya engine. But now a golf can make you think that there is witchcraft. That is of the cars. At the end of it, he called me nangamba athanchimanyo manje million namba. Naye badde nsaba nkuwe emitwalo 5 mpukade emmotoka eno njiguza abatemi bampe bagenda kumpa million emu n'ekitundu. Naye gwe bwe boyina million emu n'ekitundu gwe jimpezi akamotoka nkakuwe. Even me, I was not a bad person. I told him, Gweleta got a card. He brought the money, I gave him the card, he went our separate ways. I don't know. The last time I knew, he was selling it to a Mutemi. So golfs, my dear people, they are very comfortable, very... Muna bajempito kenda kumulimu, nga mumpito mwapita, muna bengudo zenvugirako, and I'm still young. Hey. So when I say that I want to be like grow up, don't feel offended. It has been confirmed that I'm still young up until 2 years elapse. At one when the jari mwana muto. But guys, don't. What is Mutemi? Is that the Mutemi? A Mutemi, the guys that buy cars and make them scrap. That's a Mutemi. All German cars are okay here except BMW. A friend bought one and suffered with it. Even in Europe, people suffer with cars. But BMWs are bad. BMWs are bad business. For me, even if you give me for free, I can take it. But even if you're selling to me but if you're selling to me a BMW at 500k, I can take it. Do you know why? Because I can drive it to a scrapyard and I get like a 1.5. Nebajipima, you know, abantu ba scrap bapima ne minzani. I can drive it to a scrap factory. Nebajipima. Nebampa me million ngemu na H2. Because remember, it has an engine, it has a gearbox, it has all these things, shock absorbers, then it has a kayumba. So I take it, I take out the pesa and all. Nebapima bidi bebaita go kupima. I can get a 1.5. So if you're selling to me a BMW at 500,000, I can buy it. But more than that, for what? You missed to add the Suzuki Swift in this conversation. Suzuki Swift is a good car, but I don't see them on the road anymore. What happened? You guys, when we say things, Suzuki Swift, karabika mulungi, ne karabika mukufa, babanga ke batumye. The Suzuki Swift looks a very nice car. Very good design and all. But it seems like when it starts dying, it's like it has been set by the Kabaka of Uganda. You know, we, the subjects of the Kabaka, we love our king. Kabaka sends me, go do this, I will go and do it. So, because like two years ago, 1 year ago, I would see at least a Suzuki Swift a day. Yesterday, I did not see a Suzuki Swift anywhere. Today, I've not seen a Suzuki Swift as I drove. That is an indicator, guys. I don't think I need to tell people for the love of cars whether to buy or not to buy a Suzuki Swift after. You tell me yesterday, for the people that are in Kampala, did you see a Suzuki Swift anywhere yesterday? But how many Vitz have we seen? How many Passos have we seen? Many, right? Even Mazda Demios. Have you seen a Mazda Demio today? I've not. But I've seen Passos, I've seen Vitz. And my recommendations come from that perspective, that in Uganda there are cars that need to be driven and there are cars that need to be talked about. Hey, it about the Suzuki Swift. It wasn't Suzuki Swift. It was Suzuki Obabichi. It had a name. It had a name that is not Suzuki Swift. It was a different name. Suzuki Oba Sierra. It was Suzuki. Nekaba de Kavera. But most Suzuki Swifts are from the Bond. means they're old already. And then there's a time when Nissan Fugas, that one, that there were so many on the road. Instead of driving a Nissan Fuga, you drive a Mark X, drive a Crown. Nissans are not bad cars, but we cannot manage them here. We don't have the spares, first of all. We don't have the mechanics as well. You saw one yesterday, brand new. How many more have you seen since yesterday? You see that Raum, the one in front of us, that one is also not so reliable. But we can see more Raums even on older number plates than Suzuki's on UBBs. Yet I know very well that people bought those Suzuki's on UBBs because of fuel consumption, that they don't consume fuel. So bagay bankati wanoniba embassy kuba nange ngenda tuka ku mulimu in like 5 minutes. Thank you very much for being part of this broadcast. I don't take it for granted. Don't forget, I do pre-purchase inspection. And I charge only 400,000 before you buy a car. I help you choose, I help you check it. I come with a mechanic, and together we make sure you get the right car, the right deal, at the right price, that you don't get ripped off. I also sell tracking devices. Each tracking device is 350 or 450 depending on what it does. I also sell car alarm systems at 250k. I'm also a fully fledged, fully skilled, very efficient marketer. If you have trouble with your business, trouble with acquiring customers, trouble with keeping customers, I'm your man. I'll see you tomorrow, Market Tuesday. Don't forget, come and sell your products. Come and market your products. People are willing to buy, they just don't know where to get these products. I wish you a very fruitful day, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow on Market Day. Now what I natural tunda jangola bibi batunda. Ciao.